Y'all want to know what's cringe? It's taking a hiatus from a hobby, let's say cosplay for instance, and then coming back when the era of generative AI is strong and very, very not welcome in the space, and then using that in your artistic creations, and then deleting comments calling you out about it, and then making the most passive-aggressive fucking post I've ever seen, loaded with the most conceitedness known to mankind. God damn, if that's not an intro, I don't know what is. So, yeah, basically, today's episode, a cosplayer did this very exact thing. Maybe one day I'll remember or figure out how to do a proper intro, but in case you missed it, I'm Destiny. And yeah, so enjoy the video. And to my great disappointment, this was a cosplayer. I was actually a fan of their work. They're pretty funny and they're pretty good. But to return and to dip thy toes into the forbidden waters of AI and then double down on it isn't the play. Yes, we've lost one to the AI. We've lost another to the AI. The evils and sins of AI. Copycat cosplay. You did a whoopsie, my guy. So, I was just scrolling on Instagram, as one does, and I see one of his videos pop up on my feed, and I was one of the earlier ones to receive this, or to have it show up on my algorithm. So I stopped to watch his video because I'm like, oh hey, it's been a while, and I noticed he had mentioned in the original caption that he was on a hiatus, and I looked at his count too. It was like 3 years, so kind of like pre to this AI, generative AI era that we're currently unfortunately in. Anyway, so I watched his video, started off, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, he's doing his thing. He's kind of got like a banter with his content, which is, you know, it was entertaining, it was fun. But then I notice in the top corner, he wrote, there's that little box that says AI info, and I'm like, uh-oh. So I continue watching the video, and sure enough, there are recognizable AI generative elements in the video, and I was very disappointed. So I commented, hey bro, just so you know, I know you've been away, but we don't use generative AI for our cosplay content or artistic content. That's a no-no. That's disrespectful, that's lazy, that's pathetic. And hey, before you say it, I behaved myself this time. I delivered that message gently, although it probably could read a little passive-aggressive. Not really, okay? I genuinely wasn't meaning it that way. I know intent can be this, that, and the other thing. But I behaved myself, and lo and behold, I checked back to my comment not a few minutes later, and it was deleted. Trevor? What the fuck? Trevor James, TJ, come on. So yeah, my comment was deleted, and I was like, okay then. So I decided to make a stink about it. And this is what this is. Me making a stink about it. Okay, like I'm not gonna be dramatic. I'm not here to start some fucking hate militia toward you for using AI. Like, you may not be as in touch with this space. And, you know, I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt. And, you know, the fact that a lot of people follow you and look up to you, as I had, they should know. And, like, we set this standard in the community, the artist community as a whole. No generative AI. It's not welcome here. It's not art. It's not creative. It's not helpful. It's garbage. Stop it. So when other people had also commented, hey, don't use AI, you deleted those comments too. Like, this could have been, like, so much smoother, but every action you took progressively got worse and worse and worse. You handled this with zero tact. So you started deleting comments, but then came the pinned comment. Oh, bro, I have never read in my life the most conceited comment. I am at a loss for words. I was like, don't worry, y'all. We're gonna read through it, and you'll see. I also don't have a lot of respect for someone who's gonna ignore an issue being pointed out to them, delete the comments, only like bask in the simp comments of like, oh my god, love this, good job, king, blah blah blah, and then, you know, delete the comments, hide the comments, not have this conversation, and then post the most passive-aggressive, condescending, conceited fucking post towards anyone that's trying to have a conversation with you. This is where you'll lose me, man. Okay, so, transparency pin. I'm pinning this to make sure it's known, because this will be my stance from here on and going forward, and it's not going to change. Already not a good sign. We're digging our heels in. We're being a little childish about it. But it gets worse. It gets way worse. My hope for cosplay is to bring joy and laughter and inspire others to be creative and be open with what they can make with every tool at their disposal. And my focus right now is using AI as respectful, creative tool. My guy, so that emphasis on the creative tool, that's pathetic. That's a write-off. That's you're trying to skirt around accountability and we know what generative AI is. We know what it is. We know what it does. It's either stealing content that has already been created from other people. It doesn't generate stuff from nowhere. It takes from is already existing. And that being said, there are tools in AI that are helpful, but a lot of the times it's taking away from the actual talent and effort and skill put into your work. So ultimately it's not ethical and it's just lazy. And to kind of take this type of stance, you're also kind of gaslighting a little bit because we're not stupid. We know what this is. I don't know what rock you've been hiding under, but to come out the gates like this when people are trying to have a conversation, very, very low tact. And also that whole, strive to be creative, having AI and creativity in the same sentence is a paradox. It's an oxymoron. Heavy on the moron, because no. I have always been a creative mind with my cosplays and content, even before I took a 5-year break, and I will always be looking for technology and tools that make visions come to life. This comment is giving so much, defensiveness. Bro, you were doing fine before. We enjoyed your content. You don't need to add AI into this shit to, embellish your content. It's cringe. And then to act all defensive about it. And originally, I wasn't necessarily sure how much of it AI went into the editing of this, because I know for a fact, he was in his cosplay, and he was showing off and promoting a video of him doing a wig styling tutorial for Kakashi's wig. And then the rest of it, there are some points of it where I can easily identify what is AI, but then other elements I wasn't necessarily sure. But just having that little AI info tag wasn't enough for me to discern, or anyone, what is AI, what is or isn't. You should disclose that right off the top, honestly. To be clear, 95% of the video is me, in my handmade cosplays, recording myself in my garage as both characters, Rock Lee cameo included, using clever camera tricks to be on the screen at the same time. It's me in cosplay as Guy literally running up the mountain, hiking trails beyond my home, doing push-ups, and dancing with my drone to sit on track, even using my neighbor's bull. And then me using Premiere Pro for about a week for this 3-minute video, and a month for the real 40-minute wig styling guide on YouTube. See, so that helps us figure out. I genuinely wasn't sure what elements of it was AI, so he actually went out and filmed himself doing those things. Great! But then you used AI for a lot of other things, which we can tell. So that will come into play later on into his comment as to be some sort of excuse to why he's using AI as opposed to actual editing skill. The 5% was for the gag, to add the oomph for the things that I couldn't reasonably do in real life or edit to the point of looking good in After Effects. The impossible stunts like the bull riding dropkick, the boulder push-ups, and the goofy hairspray can lol, that was AI. And I fully believe that is proper use of AI to make content better. You know what would have been better, dude? Honest to God, like if you had spent time and tried in After Effects and whatever it looked like, however it came out as, honestly, that would be better. Like, even if it's not perfect. Nobody fucking cares. It's a video they're probably even, like, it's gonna come across their feed once, they're gonna be like, look at it, haha, scroll, move on with their day. It doesn't have to look perfect, and it would be better if it didn't, because it would be made by you. Not AI slop. Not AI generated soulless machine slop. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm using that word way too much. I don't really, usually I like to try to make my own terminology, but I mean, it's honestly so fitting for this shit. Should a cosplayer use AI to do everything? No, that's lame. Or make their entire body as AI and try to pass it off? No, even lamer. Should a content creator use AI to make additional scenes/effects that would take weeks of After Effects work that would probably end up looking mediocre, and they would most likely have to scrap the idea entirely? I fully believe so, yes. No, I had just talked about this. No, we would have preferred if you had tried, even if it looked shitty. Isn't that the whole fucking point of your branding? For the gag, for the meme, kind of being goofy and silly and, you know, what is this, like, it's always this strive for perfectionism or accuracy that ends up being the downfall of so many things in cosplay a lot of the time too, and art, and it's just like, it's not it, man. I don't fuck with that. AI is an advancement for effects, and that is something I believe cosplayers and content creators should take advantage of. You're now free to create a lot of what's in your imagination with no limits, all by yourself. And you can combine that with real life things you do, and the results can be incredible. See, now that logic is so, I don't want to say dangerous, but just like, it's always those AI bros that use this type of logic that like, what do you mean? It's opened up so much doorways to creativity and freedom with it, and you know, and then they delude themselves into thinking they have some sort of claim over it. Like them typing words into the box and it's spitting out things for them gives them this weird, like, psychotic connection. Like they own this thing. This is their creation. This is their creativity, their work, their art. It's just conceited and deluded to think you have any sort of ownership over this thing, or that you should be proud of this thing because of AI. Like, and then I guess we get into dangerous content of like the freedom to create whatever your mind can think of. Some people's minds aren't clean. Let's just put it that way. And then we're blurring boundaries of respect and ownership, and it's getting messy. Like, it's already been messy. So this kind of mental gymnastics that you're going through to try to write this off, avoid accountability, it's wild to me, man. Okay, there's a comment under that pinned comment that he also wrote. Like I said, it's a long one. I'm sorry. There was so much. AI literally just gave everyone an upgrade to the 1000s of hours needed to learn After Effects. But moderation, transparency, truthfulness, and taste will always be the key with how you use it. So I'm choosing to innovate rather than imitate. I'm moving forward with a focus on high quality storytelling and impossible visuals. And I think other cosplayers and content creators should be too. Now you're just trying to manufacture a new phrasing of what AI does, and you can't do that, Trevor James. You can't, copycat. That's not how that works. Bro, like, I get it. I know AI has been a thing for decades, and I know there's a lot of elements that it has been implemented in a lot of technology that has made a lot of things easier. However, when it comes to creativity, that's a fucking line, man. That's not being innovative. That's not, you can't just say you're not imitating things. That's literally what AI does. It's taking information and regurgitating it. And usually it has a little funkiness to it, like, hi guys, this is Editing Destiny. After editing this, I can't believe I missed the opportunity to make the connection. The obvious connection of AI and imitation and copycat cosplay. How AI is copycat. It's right there and I missed it and I thought I just had to, you know, carry on. There's a difference between human error. It's you know, it's natural, it's wholesome, it's kind of funny, it's cute sometimes, but like AI error, it's slop. It's slop. That's why we call it AI slop. It's garbage. It can't, there are limits to what it can understand and do. It lacks depth, soul. There's another thing that's not running off the tip of my tongue. Continuity. This is gonna bother me. Their object permanence. And like aforementioned, it's taking already content people have already made, like painstakingly spent hours and years of their lives doing and just plopping it out for you because you typed in a stupid little prompt. At least for me and probably a lot of other people, that's not a correct or honest, truthful approach on how to create or how to do art. That's not. And then for you to try to normalize it by being, I think other creators should do this too. Ugh. And if you're here for the entertainment and joy of seeing whatever stupid fun stuff I can come up with in cosplay, and maybe hopefully being inspired to do the same, welcome, I'm glad you're here. For the few looking to spread hate or virtue signal, oh, this one I could literally feel my blood pressure going up in this little spot. Like, he's literally doing that thing of like, so you're kind of trying to throw it back on people who are, you know, trying to tell you something is wrong. We don't use generative AI for art things. Sure, AI can be a helpful tool, but not for art, not for creativity, not for creation. No, stop it. I don't like this, like, painting people pointing out a valid point as drama seekers. You know, that's so icky to try to like paint people who are trying to have this conversation with you like that, write them off as haters and people that are seeking malice towards you just because you don't want to fucking have this conversation that you're uncomfortable having, that you're too much of a coward to own up to. Now see, if you had been transparent off the get-go, maybe this wouldn't have gotten to this point, but like I mentioned, the way you're handling this and going about this and presenting this lacks any sort of tact or respect for that matter. It's just really sad, really. For the view looking to spread hate or virtue signal from the sidelines, I'm sorry you struggle with your creativity and content and wish you the best. This is where you lost me all the fucking way, bro. My blood pressure is in space right now. That is the most. What an asshole. I'm sorry you struggle with your creativity. Wow, dude. First of all, we're getting defensive, and now we're like snippy, petty little like dig under your skin kind of insults. Wow. How to nuke respect in one sentence. The audacity. I hope maybe I can influence you to change your mind and the way you behave towards other cosplayers. We are all cosplayers of different talents and skill levels. We all want to imagine and create, but I'm not here for you or the drama you seek. You're simply not who I care for in cosplay. I'm moving forward with no restriction. And I'm assuming that little emoji is supposed to be like, play me a sad song on the world's tiniest violin. Anyway, see, I told you, it gets worse. I'm not here for you and the drama you seek. You're simply not someone who I care for in cosplay. I don't even have words. Like, do I need to explain how underhandedly, that's not even passive or underhanded, that's so blatantly disrespectful and rude and conceited and condescending. People were genuinely trying to have a conversation with you, tell you something, but you're taking this ignorant fucking stance. Wow. The reason why that also angers me so much is, like I mentioned, I was a fan of your work. I respected you, and you know, everyone's not perfect, so I was open to have this conversation with you or inform you of something, of how the majority of the community feels, and then you go and write this. Like, thanks, I guess? Unfollow, not waste my time. Anyway, I'm not here to get pissy. There's still more, y'all. There's still more. He keeps going. Always improve. Always step forward. Be better in whatever you do, which includes being better to others. Don't get stuck and get mad while others are pushing forward. I also hate that kind of thing when people, they're obviously in the wrong, right? And then they'll preach this, like, be kind to others. Meanwhile, they say the most abhorrent shit to everyone else. Especially when being called out, or, you know, called out to be transparent, or called about doing something wrong. You miss me with that shit, man. Like, it genuinely doesn't look good. Like, there's always something off about it, and not in like a human error kind of way. Like I mentioned, human error is fine. Something with AI, it's just soulless. There's like types, different styles of it, and you can just tell it's AI. It's just like, ew. And it's just like disproportionate, something off. It's because it's machine generated, it's spitting out a regurgitated lesser form of the original. And making these excuses of, oh, AI is just a tool. We can save ourselves all this time. It's great, it's better, it's helping me. No. Also, it's coming at a huge detriment to the resources of the world. It's polluting the air, it's using up precious water, it's making prices of computer components skyrocket through the roof. There's nothing good about this shit. It's so unnecessary and stupid. I honestly don't know why there's not legislations being made against this shit, because there's literally a notice has been given to some people in these communities that have AI centers. There has been limits put on the water they can use just for this AI slot bullshit. Like, that's fucking wild to me. I don't know about you, but like, really? You're really gonna defend AI when a crisis in human basic rights are coming into play? Like, dude, you look fucking mad goofy. I don't know what to say. If you want to be all like, treat people with kindness and have these humanitarian-esque type of mindset, you can't fucking advocate for AI, dude. You can't. And like I mentioned, I'm not like the full-on hater of AI. I get like, sure, there are some aspects of the ones, mind you, that aren't generative AI art, or, you know, ones that are using the data centers. Like, I know there's built-in features in a lot of technology and things, and it's progressed, but this isn't it. And ultimately, we really don't fucking need it. We as human beings are capable of doing things, or hiring someone else to do these things when you cannot, you know, keep the economy going. But no, we're gonna double down on this stupid bullshit. That whole post just reeked of defensiveness, throwing a tantrum, lashing out, being malicious, condescending, like I said, rude, conceited, disrespectful, and overall just mad to Lulu. I don't know, man. Like I said, if you had just been willing to have this conversation or hear the other side and be like, oh, well, you know, be respectful at least, maybe we wouldn't have got to this point, but that comment was not it, man. It was not it. So yeah, I've talked longer than I wanted to, but that was a long one, like I said. And I'll admit, at first, I was like, wow, AI? But then all you have to do is, like, look at it. And, like, look at how people are behaving. It's truly disgusting seeing what people are doing. They're stealing artwork from people and claiming it as their own. They're trying to make profit off it, sell it. They're even, and this is very funny to me, they're actually gatekeeping the prompts they use for, as if that has any sort of claim to their, like, no. It's laughable. It's goofy. It's garbage. So yeah, sorry that was a long one, but you gotta have these words sometimes. Yeah, so I guess that's all I've got to say that I can think of. Once again, keep AI out of art. Doesn't belong there. It has no place in it. We don't accept it. And don't be daft about it either. Do better, copycat. Anyway, thanks y'all for watching. We'll see you next time. Until then, peace out.